Namaste. In the last video class, I have explained about the classification of halogen containing organic compounds, and then classification of haloalkanes and haloarenes we have discussed. So in this class, I would like to explain about the IUPAC naming of simple organic molecules. So let us start with the IUPAC naming. So we have to follow three important rules in order to name the organic molecules according to IUPAC directions. So those rules are: first rule is you have to identify the longest carbon chain. We have to identify the longest carbon chain containing functional group. That is the first rule. So what is that? Identify the longest carbon chain containing functional group. This is the first one. What is that? Identify the longest carbon chain containing functional group. This is the first rule you have to follow. So second rule is number the carbons of the longest carbon chain in such a way that the least number should be given to the carbon bearing the functional group or substituent. This is the second rule. The first rule is identify the longest carbon chain containing the functional group. That is important. Second one, number the carbons of the longest carbon chain in such a way that the least number should be given to the carbon bearing the functional group or substituent. So this is the second rule. Third important rule is we have to write the IUPAC name according to the structure. Name the molecule. Name the given molecule according to the following structure. This is the third one. What is that structure is? So first we have to write prefix. First we have to write prefix. So and then we have to write the root word. Then we have to write the root word. So next we have to write primary suffix. Then we have to write secondary suffix. So this is the structure. So we have to first we have to write prefix, and then we have to write root word, and then we have to write primary suffix and the secondary suffix. What this prefix indicates? So what is this prefix? Prefix is nothing but this is the name of the substituent. This is nothing but the name of the substituent. So what is this root word is? What this root word indicates? This indicates the presence of number of carbons in the So prefix indicates name of the substituent. We have to write first. We have to write the name of the substituent that is present in a given molecule. Then what is root word? So it is nothing but the presence of the number of carbons in the given molecule. How many number of carbons are there in the longest carbon chain? That we have to write. So what is primary suffix? What primary suffix indicates? It indicates the presence of number of bonds between the carbons and carbons in the longest carbon chain. Right. So in the longest carbon chain, if there is only single bond between the carbons, then we have to use single bond ANE as a primary suffix. So if there are double bond in the longest carbon chain, longest identified carbon chain, then we have to write ENE. If there are triple bonds, then we have to write YE. So this is nothing but primary suffix. Right. So what secondary suffix indicates? It indicates it is nothing but the name of the functional. So it is nothing but the name of the suffix. I can write suffix name of the substituent functional. Right. So while writing the suffix name of the functional group, we have to remove E from the primary suffix. That is the thing. Right. So what primary suffix prefix indicates? It is nothing but the name of the substituent. What root words indicates? It is nothing but the presence of it indicates the number of carbons present in the longest carbon chain. Right. Primary suffix, what primary suffix indicates? It indicates the presence of single bond or double bond or triple bond in a identified longest carbon chain. Right. So secondary suffix, what secondary suffix indicates? It is nothing but the name of the functional group. Name of the functional group, that we have to understand. So let us take one simple example. CH3, CH2, 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 CH3. So I have to write the IUPAC name for this molecule. So first rule, what first rule says? Identify the longest carbon chain containing functional group. This molecule does not have any functional group or any side chain. Therefore, so first what we have to do is identify the longest carbon chain. This is the longest carbon chain, right? Straight carbon chain is the longest carbon chain. So what is the second rule? So you have to number the longest carbon chain in such a way that least number should be given to the functional group or substituent. So in this molecule we don't have any substituent or functional group. Therefore, so numbering, what I can do is, this is the first carbon, second carbon, third carbon, fourth carbon, this is the fifth carbon. Right. So third rule is we have to write the name of the molecule according to this structure. First I have to write the prefix, name of the substituent. So no substituent in this molecule. Therefore, I am not supposed to write any prefix. Then I have to write the root word. Right. Then I have to write the root word. Root word indicates? It indicates the presence of the number of carbons in the longest carbon chain. So 5 carbons in this longest carbon chain. Therefore, I have to use the root word as pent. This is the root word. Right, pent. So next what I have to write? Primary suffix. Primary suffix, it is nothing but a single bond. It indicates the presence of single bond, double bond or triple bond in a longest carbon chain. This longest carbon chain is having only carbon to carbon single bonds. Therefore, I have to write ANE. I have to write ANE, pent. Right. So next thing is secondary suffix. I have to write. So this molecule secondary. What secondary suffix indicates? It is nothing but the name of the functional group. This molecule does not have any functional group. Therefore, so we are not supposed to replace E by the name of the functional group because this molecule does not have any functional group. So therefore, the name of this molecule is pentane. So CH3. So first rule is we have to identify the longest carbon chain. This is the straight chain is the longest carbon chain. Number the longest carbon chain in such a way that the least number should be given to the functional group or least number should be given to the carbon bearing the functional group or substituent. So this molecule does not have any substituent or functional group. Therefore, numbering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So name according to this structure, right? So first I have to write a prefix, no substituent, therefore no prefix. Root word 6 is the number. 6 is the number of carbons that is present in the longest carbon chain. Therefore, the name of the molecule is hex. Right? So primary suffix I have to write. What is that primary suffix is? So only carbon to carbon single bond. Therefore A and B. No secondary suffix. Hexane. So what are the different root words that is used for the naming of longest carbon chain containing different number of carbons? So number of carbons and root word. Number of carbons and root word. So if there is only one carbon in the longest carbon chain, if there is only one carbon in the longest carbon chain, then we have to use the root word as meth. If there are two carbons, then we have to write eth. So there are three carbons, then propane. 4 carbons, butane. 5 carbons, pentane. 6 carbon, hexane. 7 carbon, heptane. 8 carbon, octane. 9 carbon, non. 10 carbon, dec. So these root words we have to use. So while writing the name of the organic molecules, let us take a molecule containing substituent CH3, CH2, CH, CH3, CH2. This is the simple molecule containing a substituent. So this is the substituent. This group is known as the substituent. This is the substituent. Now there is a substituent, therefore I have to write the prefix name of the substituent I have to write. Right. So first rule is, in order to name this molecule, we have to invoke the first rule, identify the longest carbon chain. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are two possibilities. Right. That straight chain is the longest carbon chain, or the bent chain is also a longest carbon chain. So I am going to consider this as the longest carbon chain. Straight chain is the longest carbon chain. Second rule is number the longest carbon chain in such a way that least number should be given to the carbon bearing the substituent or functional group. Okay, so that is the second rule. What we have to do? Number the longest carbon chain in such a way that least number should be given to the carbon bearing the substituent or functional group. So here there are two possibilities. So I am going to write that CH3, CH2, CH, CH3, CH3. So I can number this molecule from this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. Another possibility is I can number the molecule from this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. So which one is right? Which one is right? So what second rule says? Identify number the longest carbon chain in such a way that least number should be given to the carbon bearing the substituent. So according to this numbering possibility. So 1 is given to this carbon, second is 2 is given to this carbon. This carbon is bearing the substituent. Therefore, this is the right way of numbering the molecule. This is not the right way. Why is so? Because 3 is given to this carbon which is bearing the substituent. 2 is given to this carbon bearing the substituent. 2 is the least number. So therefore, least number should be given to the carbon bearing the substituent or function. Therefore, this is the right way of numbering the molecule. So third rule is, so this is not the right way. This is not the right way. So now third rule is, we have to write the name according to this structure. First I have to write the prefix, name of the substituent. Here the name substituent is methyl group. So position I have to write, first I have to write the position 2 at the second carbon. At the second carbon, methyl group is there. This is the methyl substituent, right? So next one is 2-methyl is the prefix name, is the name of the substituent. Then I have to write the root word. How many number of carbons are there in this longest carbon chain? 4. Therefore, I have to use bute. I have to use bute. So next, only carbon to carbon single bond is there in the longest carbon chain. Therefore, ane. No secondary suffix because this molecule does not have any functional. It has only a substituent. Therefore, the name of this molecule is 2-methyl butane. Right. So in this case, what we have to do is, we have to write the first letter of the name. Always we have to write capital letter. First letter of the name should be capital letter. Right. So there should be a dash. There should be a dash between a number and a letter in the IUPAC. There should be a dash. 2 dash. You have to write like this. And the first letter of the molecule should be capital. So one more thing is, there should not be any gap between the prefix, root word, secondary, primary suffix or secondary suffix. So let us take one more example. CH3, CH2, CH, CH2, CH3, CH2, CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. So first rule is, identify the longest carbon chain. That is nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? One possibility. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is one more possibility. So I can take this as a longest carbon chain. Right? One more possibility is, here also we can take the longest carbon chain, but I am considering the longest, straight chain as the longest carbon chain. Now, number the longest carbon chain. Second rule is, number the longest carbon chain in such a way that least number should be given to the carbon bearing the substituent or functional group. So here, if I start numbering from this carbon, 1, 2, 3, 3 will be given to the carbon bearing the substituent. So if I start from this, numbering the carbon from this carbon, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. So this carbon bearing the function substituent will get 4. So therefore, this one is the right way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the right way of numbering the molecule. Second rule is over. Third rule is, you have to name the molecule according to this structure. First I have to write the prefix, name of the substituent. So the substituent here is, this is the substituent. This is the substituent. Therefore, what I have to write is, first I have to write the position for the third carbon. There is a ethyl group. Ethyl group. So this is the prefix. Next, root word. How many number of carbons are there in this longest carbon chain? 6. Therefore, hex. Hex. So next one is primary suffix. Only carbon to carbon single bond. Therefore, ane. There is no secondary suffix because this molecule does not have any functional group. Right. So now, what are the different substituents to be encountered during the naming of these organic molecules? So substituents and prefix. Substituent and prefix. So if the substituent is this one, then we have to write methyl. One carbon, we have to use meth as a root word. If it is a substituent, then we have to write methyl, YL. Right. Similarly, CH2, CH3. So 2 carbons, therefore ethyl. This is the name of the substituent. So if the molecule is like this, CH2, CH2, CH3. Then we have to write propyl, propyl, ethyl, right. So this molecule, I can also write this molecule like this: CH3, CH3. So just observe these two molecules. This is also having 3 carbons. This substituent is also having 3 carbons. This substituent is also having 3 carbons, but the last carbon is attached to the first one. Last methyl group is attached to the first carbon. So number of carbons, number of hydrogens are all identical with this substituent. So this is also propyl group. But this type of groups are known as iso group. So iso. So number of carbons 3, therefore propyl. The name of this substituent is isopropyl. Remember, this group is known as iso group. Isopropyl. So this one is methyl, ethyl, propyl. This is isopropyl. This one is also known as N-isopropyl. N means the long chain. It does not have any branches. Right. So in this case, iso means what? Such type of group should be there. So what is that? So remember, this type of groups should be there in that molecule. Isopropyl. Other examples. So if there are 4 carbons, CH2, 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 CH3. Right. There are 4 carbons, therefore butyl. 4 carbons, YL substitute. So here I can also use N-butyl because it is a long chain substitute. It does not have any branches. So this is the long chain carbon. So butyl. So next one is CH2, CH3. Just observe this one. So this group is, we already discussed, this group is nothing but iso group. Right. So it is isopropyl. Only this group is there. Then we have to use isopropyl. So but this is present in the butyl. Therefore I have to use isobutyl. Then what I have to do? I have to use isobutyl as a substitute. So I can write this molecule again: CH3, CH2, CH3. So instead of attaching the methyl group to the second carbon, if I attach it to the first carbon, then this carbon is attached with 2 carbons. Therefore it is a secondary carbon of the substituent. Therefore this is known as secondary butyl. This one is known as secondary butyl. This substituent is known as secondary butyl. So I can write one more molecule. That is CH3, CH3. This is also having 4 carbons. This molecule is also having 4 carbons. But this carbon of the substituent is attached with 3 carbons. 1, 2, 3. Therefore, it is a tertiary butyl. So this group, it is known as N-butyl, long chain butyl group. This one is isobutyl because iso group is there. This group is known as iso group. So methyl, secondary carbon is there, but there are 4 carbons in this substituent. Therefore secondary butyl. This one is known as 4 carbons in the substituent, butyl group, but tertiary carbon is there. Therefore tertiary butyl. Now let us consider 5 carbon containing substituents: CH2, 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 CH2. So the name of the prefixes should be N-pentyl, pent 5 carbons, YL as a substituent. N means longest carbon. Long chain substituent. It does not have any branching. So if the molecule is like this, CH2, 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 CH3, CH3. If this is the molecule, then what is the name of this substituent? So this molecule is having the iso group. Therefore, the name of this molecule is isopentyl. Isopentyl. 5 carbons in the substituent, but iso group is there. Therefore, isopentyl. If the molecule is like this, CH2, CH, CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. 5 carbons, but this methyl group is attached to what? First carbon, secondary carbon. Therefore, the name of this molecule is similar to that of butyl groups, right? So, secondary pentyl. Secondary pentyl. If the molecule is like this, CH3, CH3, CH2, CH2. Pentyl group, but this carbon through which it is attached to the main chain is a tertiary carbon. Therefore, the name of this substituent is tertiary, third pentyl. Tertiary pentyl. So one more molecule I can write. So that is CH2, CH3, CH3, CH3. This whole group is known as neopentyl. Neopentyl. One more thing is, all halogens should be treated as an substituents. If a halogen is present, halogen atom is present in the molecule, then we have to treat it as a substituent. We have to write the prefix for that halogen. So, substituent, if F is the substituent, then we have to use fluoro. So if Cl is the substituent, fluoro, Br, bromo, iodine. So these are the substituents and prefixes that we have to use by naming the molecule. If a benzene ring is there as a substituent, if benzene ring is there as a substituent, then we have to write phenyl as a suffix, prefix. Then we have to use phenyl as a prefix. So if this group is there as a substituent, CH2, if benzene ring is attached to a CH2 group, that CH2 is attached to the main chain, then this group, this substituent is named as benzyl. Benzyl. So if Cl is attached to this carbon, then we have to name it as a benzyl chloride, isn't it? So benzyl chloride, like that. So if cyclic groups are there in this molecule, cyclic groups are attached as a substituent. For example, CH2, CH, CH2, CH2. So this is the molecule. Then what is the name of this? So we have, what is the name of this? What is the prefix name? So we have to use cyclopropyl. Cyclopropyl. Similarly, if there is a butyl group, then we have to use cyclobutyl. 4 carbons in this side. Therefore, butyl. So this is a cyclic substituent. Therefore, cyclobutyl we have to use. Okay. One more thing is, if NO2 is present as a substituent, then we have to use the prefix as nitro. We have to use nitro as a prefix. Now, up to this point, what we know is what are the root words, different root words we have to use, what are the different substituents. For that, what are the different prefix we have to use that we have discussed. So now, primary suffix, we know if there is only single bond in the molecule, then we have to use ane. If there are double bonds, then we have to use ene. If there are triple bond, then we have to use ene as a primary suffix. So now, if the molecule is having a functional group, then we have to use the secondary suffix. We have to write the secondary suffix in that molecule. So for example, let us take this example: CH3, CH2, 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 COOH. So in this molecule, we don't have any substituents. Therefore, we are not supposed to write any prefix here. So we have to identify the longest carbon chain. So straight chain is the longest carbon chain in this molecule. Straight chain is the longest carbon chain in this molecule. So the second rule is number the longest carbon chain in such a way that each number should be given to the functional group or the substituent. So I have a number from this side 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because each number should be given to the carbon bearing the functional group. This group is nothing but the functional group. So this group is like this: C double bond O OH. While identifying the longest carbon chain, we have to consider this carbon also as a part of the longest carbon chain. So there are 5 carbons in this longest carbon chain and numbered according to the second rule. So next we have to write the name according to this rule. First I have to write a prefix, no substituent, therefore no prefix. Root word 5 carbons, therefore I have to write pent. First letter of the name should be capital, pent. Next I have to write primary suffix ane, ene, yne. Only carbon to carbon single bond is there in the identified longest carbon chain. So we are not supposed to consider this. This is carbon to oxygen double bond. So we have to see only carbon to carbon bonds that is present in the identified longest carbon chain. So therefore this is not, we are not supposed to write ene by looking at this carbon to oxygen double bond. So therefore only carbon to carbon single bond, this is a single bond, this is single bond, this is single bond, this is single bond. Therefore I have to write ane primary suffix. Then I have to write secondary suffix, this because this molecule is having a functional group, carboxylic acidic functional group. So secondary suffix name for this functional group is oic acid. I have to write oic acid. While writing the secondary suffix name, I have to remove e from the primary suffix and I have to write the secondary suffix oic acid. So this pentane oic acid. So in this is the root word, this is the primary suffix, this is the root word, this is the primary suffix, this is the secondary suffix. This is the secondary suffix. Right. So this is how we have to name the molecules containing functional group. Let us take one more example. CH3, CHOH, CH3. So here in this molecule, OH is the functional group. OH is the functional group. Therefore, we have to write the secondary suffix for this. First rule is identify the longest carbon chain. This is the longest carbon chain. Number the longest carbon chain in such a way that the least number should be given to the carbon bearing the substituent or functional group. So 1, 2, 3, or you can number from either side 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 like this. So in both the cases, this carbon bearing the functional group will get the 2 least number. So this is the second rule. Third rule, I have to write the name according to this structure. Prefix, I have to write no substituents, therefore I am not supposed to write any prefix. Root word 3 carbons in the longest carbon chain, therefore. So prop. First letter of the molecule should be capital prop. Then I have to write primary suffix, there only carbon to carbon single bond ANE. Then OH, alcoholic functional group. I have to write OL as a secondary suffix. OL as a secondary suffix for this hydroxyl group. So, in order to write a secondary suffix, I have to remove E from the primary suffix and I have to write OL. So, while doing so, we have to mention the position of this functional group like this. You are omitted this E from the primary suffix and write the position of the functional group 2. At the second carbon functional group is attached to or. Pentane to or. This is the molecule. So what are the different functional groups we encounter during the naming of organic molecules? And so, class of the compounds. Class of the compound. Functional group. So, what is the suffix that we have to use for that functional group? So, what is the prefix? If the molecule is having more than one functional group, then we have to treat one functional group as a main functional group and other functional groups as a substituents. So then when we use other functional groups as a substituent, then we have to write their prefixes. Name of the substituent we have to write in the molecule. Okay. One more thing is, if there are more than one functional groups in the molecule, one should be treated as an main functional group. So how to consider, how to choose only one functional group as a main functional group and other functional groups as a substituents is based on the priority rule. So that is decided by the Iupac community. So according to priority rule, I am going to write the class of the compound and functional groups. So what is the group of atoms that is used for that class of compound, and what is the suffix name, what is the prefix name that we have to use for a particular functional group. So first one is carboxylic acid. Functional group is COOH. Suffix is oic acid. Prefix I have to use as carboxy. Carboxy, not carboxide, it is carboxy. So second one is sulfonic acid. Sulfonic acid. Functional group is CSO3H. So I have to write sulfonic acid as suffix. Prefix is sulfo. I have to use sulfo as a prefix. Third molecule is ester. COOR is a functional group. So I have to use suffix as OAT, OAT. Prefix as alkoxy, carbonate. So here this group is alkoxy group, this group is a carbonate. Therefore I have to use. So for example, if R is a methyl group, CH3O, then I have to use methoxy like alkoxy. So methoxy carbonate as a prefix name. So fourth one is acyl halide. COX. Suffix name is OYL halide. OYL halide. Prefix name is halo carbonate. So next fifth one is amides. CONH2. These are known as amides, I have to use suffix name as amide. Prefix, I have to use carbamide as a prefix. So sixth one is nitriles. So functional group is C here, C triple bond N. So I have to use nitrile as suffix, cyano as prefix. So seventh one is aldehydes. CHO is a functional. AL I have to use as a suffix, formide as a prefix. So eighth one is ketones. C double bond O or CO. So ONE as a suffix, oxo I have to use as a prefix. So ninth one is OH, alcohol. OH is the functional group. OL I have to use as a suffix, hydroxy as a secondary, prefix. 10th one is NH2, amines, NH2. So I have to write fine itself, amine. So as a prefix I have to use amino as a prefix. So 11th one is alkenes. I have to use, there should be a double bond between the carbon, double bond between the carbon. So ENE I have to use as a suffix, primary suffix. So there is no substitute. We are not supposed to consider, we are not supposed to write any prefix form. 12th one is alkyne. So C, triple bond C, YNE I have to use as a suffix, primary suffix, no prefix form. We are not supposed to use prefix because we are treating double bond and triple bonds as an functional groups, and therefore I have to write ENE, YNE as a primary suffix for the alkenes and alkynes respectively. So this is the priority rule. So this is what I have written according to priority. First, carboxylic acid, right? Carboxylic acid is the highest priority functional group. Sulfuric acid, ester, right? Acyl halides, amides, nitriles, aldehydes, ketones, and alcohols, amides. So if the molecule containing both the double bond and triple bond, then to which carbon we have to give the least number is depending on this priority. The carbon which is having the double bond is coming in the highest priority according to priority rule. So therefore, the carbon bearing the double bond should be given the least number or highest priority. So up to this point, what we have discussed is, first we have to follow 3 rules by naming the molecules. First one is identify the longest carbon chain. Second one is number the longest carbon chain in such a way that least number should be given to the carbon bearing the functional group or a substituent. Third rule is we have to write the name of the molecules according to that structure. Prefix we have to write first. Prefix is nothing but the substituent name, root word. Next we have to write a root word that indicates the number of carbons present in the longest carbon chain. Third one is we have to write the primary suffix, presence of single bond, double bond or triple bond in the longest carbon chain. Fourth one is we have to write name of the functional group, that is nothing but the suffix, secondary suffix. So this is according to this structure we have to name the molecule. After that we have discussed different substituent and their prefix names. Next we have discussed root root word, number of carbons, and the root word that we have to use for that number. Next, we have to write ANE, ENE, YNE, that is nothing but the primary suffix, secondary suffix. According to priority rule, we have given the list. I have given the list. That is, one is carboxylic acid, second one is sulfuric acid, ester, acyl halides, amides, nitriles, aldehydes, ketones, alcohols, amines, and then ENE, alkanes and alkynes. Right? According to this priority, we have to remember in order to name the molecules containing more than one functional groups. In that case, we have to consider any one of the functional group as a main functional group and the other functional groups as a substituents. So in that case, we have to use substituent names along with the suffix name in order to name those molecules. So in the next video class, I would like to take different examples and how to name those molecules according to IUPAC rules. Thank you very much for watching the video, and please share this video with the students in need. Thank you.